Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. This is Dr. Heels here today, and today we're going to be talking about whether or not Final Fantasy XIV is a good game. And it is my pleasure to announce that if you're here and you're looking out in the Steam Marketplace and you're questioning whether or not you want to buy it, the short answer is you should buy it if you're interested in MMOs or anything like that. And I want to just say that about any game, because you're probably thinking, like, Dr. Heels, I don't even know you. Why would I trust you? And that's a good question, but I can tell you from experience, I've played a lot of games, and I wouldn't steer you wrong to buy something like Warzone right away, or something that is not great quality. Final Fantasy XIV is a great quality game. It's definitely worth the money. I think it's like $40 or $50, depending on if it's on sale or not. And there is a $10 a month membership fee. I think it's about $10 or whatever. And it's definitely worth the money. And I'm a brand new player, and so if you want to stick around and figure out why that is, just hang out for a minute. And yeah, I'm gonna explain everything. Like I said, I have a excuse me. I have a very huge history of playing games. I played like all the Halos. And I don't want to list everything because I played so many games that if I just listed them all, it would just go on and on and on. So yeah, I have a huge history of games. Most recently, I've been playing like Destiny 2 and Final Fantasy XIV because I just picked this game up. I was looking for an MMO and I was looking for a good community, and this game has all of those things. It has a great community. It's a great MMO, and everything is extremely well thought out. Like the story, the crafting, all the different aspects. And so I'm going to delve into that a little bit deeper. So now the first thing I want to talk about is the wide diversity of classes you can play in this game, because this game has something for just about everybody. If you want to be, it's a classic, it's a classic kind of style with like, you have tanks, you have your healer, you have your DPS. It's that kind of style of combat. So if you want to be like a big beefy tank and you just want to tank all the damage in the world, go for it. If you want to be a psychotic DPS and you can be like, I don't know, you can be a black mage, I think. I've only ever played white mage. I don't remember all the class names, but you can play like, you can just shoot fireballs at things all day. You can just like be crazy DPS if you're like psychotic like that, if you want to be a crazy DPS, or if you're like me, you can be a white mage. So that is the class that I started out with, and so that's basically how I play these kind of games, because this is a support character, and I like to put the team first. I'm like a team player, so I'm always like the person that's like, okay, I'm gonna heal the entire team, everybody has to be kept up, and it's an important role to play. So I like that role, but there's a little bit of something for everybody, and all the classes are, I would say, relatively well balanced. Like, I don't feel especially screwed for picking white mage, or I don't think you'd feel like bad picking any particular class. Like, that might be a little bit different with some of the more niche classes, but like the class that I play, like white mage, is very fun, and everybody has a role, and as long as you're good at like your role and you do the specific things that your job's supposed to have you do, then you'll do really well with it. So that's something I like. It has a little bit of something for everybody. No matter what kind of personality, you can make it like a guy, like a huge beefy tank, or anything. And yeah, this game has it for you. So, and that's something I really like. I like the diversity, and I think that's the foundation for any kind of good game like this. You have a wide diversity, so no matter who you are, if you want to play an MMO and you want to like, you can probably fit into like any of these roles for like any kind of personality. You just pick something that suits what you like to do. And so now the next thing I want to talk about a little bit excuse me, is that this game has a lot of heart. And what I mean by that is, like, you play a lot of games right now, and something that comes to mind is like, it's like so many games just like, they're kind of like, they have no heart, right? Like they're just kind of shells. It feels like the people don't really matter, like the characters don't really matter, nothing really is important. But in this game, it's not like that at all. It's like most of the characters are important, and like everything is kind of memorable, and they're not just giving you quests like sometimes the main story quests are a little bit like arduous, but most of the time the quests are like they're really clever. Like they have like a twist, or they're at least like trying to be funny, or like have a joke or something in them, and it makes it so if you're doing quests, it makes it more fun because there's like kind of a point to it. Like you're not just like you'll do something and then there'll be a funny joke, or like something crazy will happen and there's a twist that I mean I wasn't even expecting like, some of the twists in even the main story quests, and so yeah, even though they can be a little bit arduous sometimes, I really do thoroughly enjoy the main story quest, and there's just so many activities in this game that you can do. So like the general questing is, it's like really good, it's in depth, but like the game has so much heart. I mean, you can just look around, and I want to give you a tour. So like, first of all, you can just have minions, right? So like, you can summon like a whale. Like I have a whale. You know, that's something you find in the marketplace, but you know, you can summon like all your different things. You have like all your different emotes, like, and so now I can just laugh, or like you can do whatever you want, and it has a lot of personality, and I really like that in a game. I really like that because it makes every person feel more like a person when they're playing, instead of just like, okay, I'm just like this thing that doesn't matter. Like, and I feel like some games do that better than others. I feel like Final Fantasy 14 does that really well. So, yeah, that's another thing I thoroughly, I think this game has a lot of heart, so I'm going to go ahead and return to New Grenada quick, and I just want to like show you guys kind of like, the environment that you'll spawn into. So like everybody, like the different characters have different worlds that they spawn into, but my first one was Grenada here. Pronouncing that right? Yeah, Grenada. Yeah. So like you can see some people around, and like the first thing I noticed when I was coming through here was that everybody is like, you know, it's pretty quiet right now because I'm playing at like, yeah, I'm playing at 12 o'clock, but everybody here is like pretty like fashionable. Like some people, like this person has like armor and stuff, and like, but something I noticed right away was that fashion was like really important, and that's something I liked because it has like a lot of character. Like what these people are wearing, like the outfits are really unique, and like things you don't see that in a lot of games where like there's actually a lot of care taken to like different outfits. So now what I want to show you is that like, and this is another kind of feature of the game, is that you know you have your sets, so you can just your class changes depending on like what your main weapon is. So you can just switch sets by you just set a equipment list here, and you can change your set anytime you want, or you change your weapon and you change your set. So you go ahead and change here. So now I'm the Weaver, and the Weaver's a crafting class that can make the different items in the game, and like different clothing items, apparel, things like that. And you see that it's like it's pretty fashionable, like it's a pretty fashionable outfit, and it's like that fashion actually matters in the game. It's really, really cool, and it shows like a lot of depth and creativity, like very creative. It's very refreshing. So I think that this is really good for a game, because a common theme I've seen throughout the game is that they really just want you to have fun. Like, this game isn't trying to have you be super serious all the time, or like grind things out all the time. They're trying to have you have fun, and that's like, it's super important to have fun. Like, that's what it's based on, because then people actually want to play it, instead of just like people feel forced to play it. So yeah, that's something that makes Final Fantasy 14 really cool. You know, you have all these different emotes and different expressions, so you can actually express yourself in a game, which is like super cool. And yeah, so another kind of thing I really thoroughly enjoy in this game is the marketplace. So I'm gonna head over there really quickly, and I want to show you that like there is actually a like functional marketplace. Like I know it's not super similar to this example, but the way I try to explain it is like, it's like, because everybody knows what the Grand Exchange in RuneScape is, right? Like everybody kind of knows what that is, so then that's kind of go from there. It's like that, but it's not. It's like you have a certain number of slots that you can sell things, and so I'm going to just like, kind of demonstrate right here for you. So you have your market board, and all the different classes and crafting classes and characters have like different items that they need for when they're leveling up. So like if I just look at like bodies, and you can search by like types of items, you have like all the different weapons, bodies, all these different things, and you see you have all these different items that are useful. Like here's the Patrician's Cote, which is useful for crafting, and like if you want to be a crafter, then you can make like some of these things, or you can buy things and etc. So everything's very well connected, and the marketplace actually works because players need items. It's very easy to find like demand, or it's easy to figure. As long as you're somewhat intelligent and you can figure out like, okay, what items do players need, then you can make a decent amount of money just by like selling things that players need, like at all different levels. You can kind of find a market, and so it's very, very fun. It's very dynamic, and you don't feel like you're wasting your time like making things, because somebody is probably going to buy them if you market it somewhat well. So I'm just going to show you here really quick. I have my 2 retainers, and retainers are basically people that will sell your items or that hold items, or you can send them out on ventures. I don't really do that yet, but I'm going to. But I just want to show you here, like, so I can go to sell items in your inventory on the market, and you can see you can just, these are all the things I'm selling. I don't really care about, you know, it's not like a great strategy to show people what you're selling, but I'm going to show you just for demonstration purposes. And so yeah, you can see that I had listed a bunch of items, and you can just list and pick the price of the item that you want to sell. You can adjust your prices, and you can see what other people are selling it for. That way you can even be like competitive in the marketplace. So that's something I really like about this game, is that there is a dynamic marketplace, and it's very, very fun, and it makes gathering and crafting very well worth it. And that's another part of this too. So there's 3 main classes, like 3 different kinds of classes. So you can be like a gatherer, you can be a crafter, or you can be a combat job, basically. And so when I progressed a certain amount as the white mage, I decided to become a botanist. So I decided to be a botanist. And so this is basically gathering. So you can gather like your fruits, and you can gather like wood and things that are needed for weaving, especially, and for carpentry. So like the classes are intertwined, and it's very useful to it's just very cool. It's very cool to see such a dynamic system in a game that actually works well. So as far as I can tell so far, it seems to work very well, and I like that a lot. So now I would say the next thing I would like to talk about is, I'll talk about crafting for 1 second. So gathering is basically like you can go out in the wilderness, and you can find, you have a log, and you can go out and find like all these different items. So like if you need a particular item for whatever reason, you can just go out and find it. And so you can use that, especially if you're a crafter. Like if you can find logs if you're a carpenter, or you can find like flax, which is used to make a certain kind of yarn that can be used for a weaver. And there's all different examples for all different things you can gather. But I'm going to take a look at crafting here for a second. So I'm going to pull out the weaver. And basically crafting is like it's very simple. It's very intuitive. It's like a game. And it's like a fun game too. It's like kind of a fun little mini game. And I have a good time with it, because it requires you to kind of pay attention. So like I'm just going to make that now. Can I make this? Yes. So I'm just gonna make this random like felt hat. My crafting level is pretty high, so maybe we can get the good synthesis here. So like basically, like you have all your different actions here, and your actions determine what happens. So you have basically things that increase touches will decrease the durability, and so will the synthesis steps. But I mean, you can just craft something in like a basic overview. So like if I was gonna craft this really quickly without an explanation, just kind of, once you've done it for a while, you just kind of go through the motions, and go through your steps, and hopefully we'll get a good craft on this boy. Let's see, this is pretty clear. Hopefully we got the proc. Alright. Yep, so we got it up to the max high qual. Basically, I mean, if you don't, I know you probably don't understand crafting yet, but it's basically like, you undergo a series of touches depending on like what the item's condition is, and the item's condition has like a multiplier that will increase the item's condition more. So you want to just kind of pay attention at this level to like this precise touch, which is only active when the item is in like a good or better quality. So basically you're just touching the item and then waiting for this to proc and hoping it procs, and if it doesn't, then just keep touching, and then using Byrgot's Blessing at the end, because this has a multiplicative effect on the efficiency of like crafting something. So it'll increase the quality a lot depending on how many stacks of this perk you have. So basically that's an overview of crafting, and like the things that you craft are worth it. Like I've been selling the patricians outfits lately, and they sell for so much money. So if you can make money this way, it's really cool to see that like this actually works. And now one of the last things I want to talk about, I'm going to take a quick tour, I just want to show you guys, is our free company estate. So I'm going to go right there. Free companies are basically groups that you can join, and they include a bunch of different players, and they're basically like hangouts, like I would call them that. So I'm going to actually teleport here. So I'm going to teleport to my free company's estate, and you can get like free companies will have estates and houses, and there's actually houses in this game. So like you can buy a house, you can have a free company house, and then the crafting can involve like furniture and things. So yeah, this is an example of like a free company house, and it's like a mansion and like all this nice stuff out front. And if we take a stroll down the street, you can see that there's other people's houses. Like they're like, some of them are decorated, like they're incredible. Like they're incredible. Like look at this one. This one has all. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, I don't get in trouble for showing all these, but yeah, it's super cool. The game has so much depth. Like a lot of these things are crafted. There's always something to do, and yeah, it's just, this is an excellent game. Final Fantasy XIV is an excellent game. I highly recommend it. Go pick it up, and I think that that is going to wrap it up for this video. So thank you very much for joining me. I will give you all a bow, goodbye, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks again.